Hello everybody, it's time to start another rock tumble. This time I'm going to be tumbling these rocks that I found along the Nueces River outside of Uvalde, Texas a couple of weeks ago. Let's take a closer look at some of these. Several of these are fossil rocks, which may or may not tumble well. It depends. Some of these are hard enough that they can withstand the tumbling. Others break down very quickly. I'm hoping that the ones I picked out are hard enough to survive. Next up, we have this banded chert. I got several pieces of this. This piece has subtler bands, not quite as contrasty as I like, but I like the pattern a lot. I'm also including this, what I call Texas pudding stone. It's very similar to these fossils in that maybe it'll tumble, maybe it won't. I don't know how hard this host material is. I have 3 pieces of petrified wood that I found. This is a nice big chunk here. Has lots of agatized parts. So I'm hoping that once it tumbles down, it will be beautiful. Here's another piece that I found. And finally this piece. I put out a video a couple of weeks ago showing that rockhounding hunt. So if you check my other videos, you'll see me finding some of these, including this one here. And then I have these agate type rocks. Now I call them agate because they have some translucency. I realize that this is dry and powdery white, so you really can't tell, but take my word for it. It has some translucency to it, some chalcedony, as does this piece here. And you can see some botryoidal pockets in there. And then this piece here, this is a little more obvious. So I'll get these in the tumbler and I'll get them going. It's going to take several weeks, probably several months to get these down the way I like them. Here are the rocks in a 12-pound barrel. They're about 3/4 full. And I'm going to add about 12 tablespoons of silicon carbide 6090 grit. All right, let's get some water in it. That's about enough. All right, she's on the tumbler. And I will check it after, 7 to 10 days. My Nueces River rocks have been tumbling for 10 days in the 6090 silicon carbide. Let's take a closer look and see how they're doing. The petrified wood's looking good. I'm really excited about this piece. I think this piece will be stunning when it's done. Just a beautiful piece of petrified wood. So you see these fossil rocks, well, they weren't as hard as I had hoped. I think I'm gonna have to take these out of the course and just get them ready for the polishing. This one looks like it's going to be pretty good. This one got really small and I won't be able to smooth this one out because it's just too soft. So I think I'll just move it on like this. And then this is that piece of fossilized coral, which is holding up just fine. It's going to take a while to get it smooth the way I like it. I think this is all that's left of my Texas pudding stone, so unfortunately that one did not hold up. These are just some miscellaneous rocks I found. Not too interesting. Here you can see these banded chert pieces. This one looks like it's going to be pretty nice when it's done. And I think this one's going to be pretty special when it's done. And finally, these are the agate type rocks. This one is looking really interesting here. A couple of these agates. These are very common agates, and when they're done, they generally take a nice polish and look really good. Hopefully these two will be no exception to that. So I'll get these back in the 6090 grit, the ones that need it. A couple of them are going to have to get taken out now because they're just grinding down too much. Well, my Nueces River rocks are finally ready for the polishing stage. They're done with the coarse grit. As you can see, they're not perfect. There's still some flaws, but I think they're going to turn out nice and shiny. So what I'm going to do is get them loaded into the vibratory tumbler and go 2 days at 220 grit silicon carbide, 2 days at 600 grit silicon carbide, 2 days at 1500 grit silicon carbide, and finally 2 days at the aluminum oxide polish. And hopefully when we're done, we'll have some shiny rocks. Here's how our rocks look in the 220 grit. After another day or so, I'll go ahead and get this thing all washed out. I'll add a little bit of detergent and a little bit of water, let it go for a couple hours, get nice and sudsy. Then I'll take it to my sink, dump them out into a little container so it doesn't go down the drain, wash everything off, and then start over with the next grit. This is how the final stage looks. This is where all the magic happens. This is where that 14,000 grit aluminum oxide does its magic and slowly sands all these rocks to a beautiful high luster. My Nueces River rocks are finished. Let's take a closer look, see how they turned out. Let's begin with these duds. These are my fossil rocks, and as you can see, they were soft, and unfortunately, they did not take much of a polish at all. They're still kind of cool to look at, I suppose, but I prefer a rock with a nice mirror-like finish. And these definitely don't have that. Yeah, unfortunately, these just did not polish up, I'm afraid. And in case you're curious, this is that tiny little, what I call Texas pudding stone. So it ground down to almost nothing and didn't take a shine. Here's one of those miscellaneous rocks. Took an okay shine. Got some little tiny pieces of ceramic stuck right there. I can't seem to get those out. I need to get a pen or something. A little sewing needle in there. Not too interesting. Decent shine though. Here's another miscellaneous rock. Sort of agate, I suppose. Not bad. Nice shine, decent tumble. And then there's this miscellaneous rock. Also a little agate. Great shine. Not sure what this rock is. I see some, looks like chalcedony there. I thought this would have more of that when I found it. I remember thinking this was much more of an agate rock. I still like the way it turned out. Here's my piece of fossilized coral. Took a decent shine. It's got lots of interesting stuff in it. This little rock is interesting. It's got lots of stripes in it. Don't know what it is. I don't think it's banded chert. It's something though. Who knows? But it tumbled well and took a nice shine. This is one of the agate rocks. These are those common agates we find here in Central Texas. They do end up taking a good shine. Here's another one. Look at this beauty. This one is the one that had all those little pockets, like botryoidal pockets. Lots of interesting detail on this one. I wish it were more colorful, but hey, what are you gonna do? Still, it took a nice tumble and a really nice shine. And then there's this agate. This one turned out really nice. Look at the shine on this one. Some beautiful detail in there. Next up, we have this banded chert. Got several pieces of this. This one's not too bad. Sorry, I missed that little fracture right there. And then there's this little guy. I like the detail on that one. Really nice tumble and really nice polish on that one. Next up is this piece of banded chert. I really like the design. I like all those swirly bands on there. This stuff is so common. I need to start finding more of this when I go rock hounding because I do so enjoy getting it tumbled and polished. And then here's that piece with the subtler banding. Turned out really nice. The polish actually gave the banding more contrast. This is one of my favorites. Nearly perfect, not quite. I missed that spot there. Really like how this one turned out. What do you think? And then there's this little guy. this piece of banded shirt. This one turned out really nice as well. This one I thought would be pretty special when it was done. And it is. Look at the design in this one. Amazing. And then there's this piece of banded shirt. I love the way this one turned out. Little quartz pocket there. Some sort of little fracture right there, unfortunately. Still, took a great shine. Mirror-like finish. That aluminum oxide did the trick. Next up we have these pieces of petrified wood. Check these out. This piece turned out really nice. Not a perfect tumble, but I like it anyway. Look at all the amazing detail in there. The agatization in this one. Really cool. Next up is this piece of the petrified wood. Again, not a perfect tumble. I could have kept this going a few more weeks and made it perfectly smooth, but I decided to go ahead and just get it polished as is. By the way, that white and that white, that's part of the stone, and that is not the polish stuck in there. I do clean these very carefully between stages with the toothbrush. By the way, that's also one reason why I have no problem letting these get completely dry before examining them between the stages. I always want to clean them off. Yeah, this took a great shine. Look at that shine on there. Very nice. Nice piece of wood, but not the nicest. The last stone I'm going to show you is this piece of petrified wood, which I do think is the nicest. Look at the detail in this one. I think that is so cool. I didn't want to break this section off right here. It was too big a piece, so I left it in. So it's not a perfect tumble, but I still think it looks awesome. I'm very happy with this piece. Great shine, and I just love the detail in there. Well, there you have it. That represents, oh gosh, at least 3 or 4 months of tumbling. I hope you liked that. I think the results were pretty good. We had some duds, but we had some winners as well. So thanks so much for watching. I appreciate it. Be sure and check my other videos. Thanks again.